Daniel Minto then will start on pole position with Adam Turacek alongside Harry Neeson and Alex Jones, row 2, Logan Lauder and Aston Brown on row number 3. 7th will be Dax Farah. He's got Lucy Lovell alongside Ella Lucia and Jos Hushka are on row 5 with Caden Simpson and Sebastian Clark on row 6. Then it's Max Wheatley, who's drove really, really well but had that disqualification in heat number 1 for a technical compliance, hence why he starts from 13th place. He's got Jack Hutchinson for company and then Toby Dukes with 2 retirements. Today he starts in 15th place. Let's see if he can make any progress through. He's not had a huge amount of track time today because of those issues. The 2 drivers to watch though, one there is the champion-elect, number 57, Aston Brown. He's just got to stay within touching distance of that 30 of Jones. And we'll keep an eye out on that championship battle all the way through this Micro Max final. Micros then, he seem to be nicely in position as they head down towards Alan Wones here at a increasingly sunny Ellough Park. As they line up side by side, Minto and Turacek. The first time really today, because of the random grid format, that they've been anywhere near each other, and they line up off the front row with each other. Red lights go green and we're away and racing in the Micro Max final. Who's going to take the first one as they go into the corner? Minto, as we've got one driver going very, very wide. That's Lucy Lovell. She'll drop down from 8th place all the way down to 15th as she goes very, very wide into the Degner 1 hairpin, and there's contact already between Daniel Minto and Adam Turacek. Minto takes to the escape road and rejoins in the lead. Turacek will come back to the inside. Sure, that one will be looked at by our clerk of the course, as Minto then leads from Adam Turacek, and Turacek's going to send it down the inside into Barney's. Great move by the 12, and now the move finally done for the 12 of Adam Turacek. Through he comes into the lead. 12 minutes plus 1 lap for this final. We've got 4 extra minutes for our Honda cadets and all of our other classes as well. We're all up to 12 now after that 10-minute Honda Cadet B final, so 12 for everybody. It's going to need a dab more fuel in the tanks to make sure that they all make that minimum weight when they come over, with it being a longer race. Turacek leads them from Minto with Harry Neeson in 3rd place. Then it's Lauder, Jones, Brown doing what he needs to do and staying in the wheel tracks of Alex Jones, with Farah, Lucia, Simpson, Clark. Dukes already up from 15th up into 11th. The Sterling opening lap and a half for Toby Dukes. Max Wheatley, Lucy Lovell, she's back up into 13th, having dropped all the way down. Then it's Jack Hutchinson and Jos Hushka on the previous lap, although now I think Hushka has found a way through. He has. On Hutchinson, that moves him up into 14th place. Minto in 2nd place, you can see him there. Harry Neeson pushing him along, with needing to close that gap to Adam Turacek at the top, at the head of this Mini-Max final. 0.6 of a second on that previous lap was the gap. So make their way through. There's your championship battle on screen between the 30 of Alex Jones and the 57 of Aston Brown. 6th will be enough for Brown to take the championship here. Just having a quick look at the sheet. So make their way down the straight towards the double apex right at Shoemakers. As is often the case in finals, there's sometimes a bit of a lull in the middle part of the race, with drivers now being in positions that are much more representative of their actual pace after 3 heats. Exception of which obviously is Dukes and Wheatley. Dukes with 2 retirements, Wheatley with that issue in heat number 1, which meant he scored no points. So they're coming through, having run, particularly in the case of Wheatley, as Jones goes down the inside of Logan Lauder for 4th place. Particularly in the case of Wheatley, he's had good pace all day to run well inside the top 3 and would have probably been challenging for a podium. Logan Lauder tries to get down the inside of Alex Jones. That door firmly closed and too far back was Lauder. Turacek sets the fastest lap of the race though, the gap opening out now to 0.8 of a second for your current race leader. As we approach 1/3 race distance, Jones, Lauder and Aston Brown. Aston Brown does not need to do anything more than follow these two karts home to be crowned the 2022 Cadet Kart Championship champion in our Micromax class. Once again, you can hear these tyres absolutely squealing as the track comes up to temperature. Over start finish with 7 minutes remaining, just keeping an eye on the championship permutations as they are. As Harry Neeson tries a move down the inside of Daniel Minto into Shoemakers. Not sure Minto would have been a fan of that one, because he really probably wants them to work together and try and close in on Adam Turacek in front. Lauder goes defensive as they head down towards Alan Wones. Half an overtake, half defensive though, as they head down towards that final corner. Neeson still behind Minto. This is the battle for fourth down into 6th place in the background as they flash back in from behind them tyres. Behind them, Toby Dukes is up into 7th place from 15th. Needs 3 seconds though to close up on the back of this battle, but still plenty of time. Over half the race still remaining for Dukes to close up, with Farrett, Wheatley, Lucia, Simpson, Lovell, Clark, Hushka and Hutchinson. Aston Brown gets a bit of a cutback there on Logan Lauder. Lauder went slightly wide and Brown tried to get alongside, but really doesn't need to. I don't know what the message has been to him, is whether he just needs to sit and be comfortable. Adam Turacek, another fastest lap, 48.051, not far from going sub 48, as the 12 at the front of this race continues to push. Minto with a gap of 1.4 seconds to try and close in, with Harry Neeson also currently in 3rd place, heading towards that final step of the podium. Having a quick look at the Honda Cadet B final, just make sure that there's no penalties been applied in that one. No, all clear, so the top 8 that came through will be going through into that Honda Cadet A final in around about 35 minutes time. Four minutes and 40 seconds as Neeson now sets the fastest lap, with Minto setting a personal best. The gap was 1.4, now it's 1.2. Question now is, was that a good lap from the two following, or has Adam Turacek gone too high with the tyre pressures and they're going to start to cook now? It was the plan for Turacek to pull away at the start and try and build up a sufficient gap so that the pack couldn't close him down. In about 15 seconds or so, we'll find out. The gap was just under 1.3 and they came over the line on that previous lap. We'll keep an eye out on your race leader as he now comes over, and the gap has indeed gone out again, so it looked like it was just a good lap on the previous lap from Minto and Neeson. Back out to 1.5. So Turacek holding on. Great move there by Neeson down the inside on Minto for second place. Don't think Minto was expecting that one. He didn't particularly defend it, and Neeson took advantage halfway through. And I get the feeling now, with the gap going out again to your race leader, that these two are just going to turn this one into a scrap for second place. They've got enough of a gap to Alex Jones, and Minto is back down the inside of Harry Neeson into the right-hander on exit to Alan Wones. He's back through into second place. 2 more tenths for your race leader, Adam Turacek. Gap out to 1.7 as this battle behind, and now Neeson comes to the inside. Closed off by Daniel Minto. And that means that Neeson's going to have dropped back by a few kart lengths. He had to get off the throttle briefly. Minto in second place. Neeson considered a little move down there into Clinton's, but you do have to almost be alongside to even make that one work. So Minto there in the 28 Hunter Motorsport kart holding on to second place. Now has a bit more of a gap than what he had on the previous lap to Harry Neeson. They've pretty much been nose to tail for all of it. Looks over his shoulder actually as they get towards the end of the straight, and Neeson closing in on the brakes, and then Minto hard. Oh, we're down to a Battenberg flag here. We've got an issue out on track, trying to keep an eye out as to where that could potentially be, but the race has been slowed here with 2 minutes remaining. Looking out of the window, it's not clear as to what the potential issue is here, but that gap from Turacek is really, it will be closed right up now. Battenberg flag out then, so the whole field's going to be nose to tail. And we're away and racing once again, and Neeson gets the jump. That's the Lucy Lovell into the pit lane. That could have been the problem with that car. She's down there with the assistant Clark Rory, but Harry Neeson gets the jump on Daniel Minto. And now Alex Jones, Logan Lauder, Aston Brown, Toby Dukes are right in the mix here. The top 8 karts all the way down to Max Wheatley. All nose to tail as the race nullified for the best part of a lap to aid in the recovery of that kart down there. We're down to under 1 minute now. We'll be through. They'll not get the last lap board this time, but I'm fairly sure it'll be the time after. So we're going to get 2 laps in to this Honda Cadet, this Micro Max final, which now sees Adam Turacek coming under pressure from Harry Neeson, and Neeson is right behind the 12 of Turacek. 26 seconds. It will be the last lap board next time round. Brown with the fastest, with his personal best. He's passed Logan Lauder in 5th place. He's 15 seconds and 1 lap away from being crowned the 2022 Micro Max champion. Turacek, though, will lead them. There is some potential for lap traffic, although I think Jack Hutchinson's got enough pace to be too far away. He's in the 31 kart as they head towards the final few corners before the last lap board will be out this time as they come over start finish. Turacek, who's led every lap of this race. Minto's going to try and come down the inside of Neeson and does, but then carries too much speed in. Goes in there far too hot, and Harry Neeson slots back through into second place. And this gap for the final 2 steps on the podium. Turacek could have enough here if these two keep battling it out to hold on for victory. The gap was out to almost 2 seconds, then it got reeled in because of the Battenberg. Neeson, though, is right on the back of the 12. He's pulled away from Minto a few times. Turacek parks the 12 in the middle of the track as they head out of Barney's and down towards Alan Wones for the final time. Minto with a late move down the inside, and then there's contact between Minto and Harry Neeson, and Alex Jones comes through for second place. Turacek's going to take victory with a fantastic flag-to-flag victory. Neeson drops out of the top 3 with Jones in second, Minto 3rd, Neeson 4th, Lauder in 5th place, and Aston Brown crossing the line in 6th place, which is enough to crown him the 2022 Micro Max champion here in the Cadet Kart Championship. Toby Dukes gets 7th in front of Max Wheatley, Ella Lucia and Caden Simpson, with Josh Husker, Sebastian Clark, Dax Farrer, Jack Hutchinson and Lucy Lovell, who retired with 6 to go. There then, on the screen, the 57 of Aston Brown, your 2022 Micromax champion here in the Cadet Kart Championship.